Good news on the bench is Tamika Yallop is available potentially, as we see Ivy Lewick and Charlie Grant warming up. There is Tamika Yallop, another veteran alongside Lydia Williams. She was available for selection today, although Mary Gustafson said she hasn't played a single minute since ankle surgery. So depending on how the game goes, she won't be risked at all, but if it's a comfortable looking score and the pitch is holding up, not looking too dangerous, so she may see 10 or 15 minutes at the end of the game.
I saw Charlie Grant there to her feet in the case that she was needing to be deployed after that head clash. You mentioned earlier, I mean, how spectacular she's been this tournament, and previous to that also excellent couple of games here with the Matildas, and you imagine it's just a bit of load management this evening that we don't see Charlie Grant, because certainly her performance has done well and truly enough.
It certainly was in the right back position. He's looking very healthy indeed. Mary Carpenter returning to action, competitive football with her club Olympique Lyonnais in France last week. Champions League winner, albeit on crutches last year. Mary Carpenter. We're waiting for her return with bated breath as that's turned over by Cromer. Cromer covering the Nevin at right back. Blackwood again for Brown. Great pace in Marissa Cromer. She knows a thing or two about playing right back these days. There's a famous pace in Australian football as well. Kate Johnson. Newey Boy. Forward in the FA Cup final, of course, for Liverpool. Greatest exports, certainly in the early days. Looking at several of the greatest exports right now on the pitch for the Matildas. Correct, so far.
Seen a couple of little slips from players across both teams, which speak to the volume of water that's fallen here at Newcastle this afternoon. But skies have cleared up. It was a lovely evening of football, but nonetheless, the pitch still a little slippery underfoot.
Matildas Van Zanten, as Jamaica try to break forward. Now perhaps that goal will just settle a few nerves as well, not so much nerves, but it will put Jamaica back in their place and give that little cushion of confidence that the Matildas really need after a difficult 28 minutes here.
It has felt like a somewhat measured opening 25 minutes or so for the Matildas. Certainly not the fire in which they started against Spain.
Here they come again, Catley looking to burst into the area. Alison Swaby not taking any chances, concedes the corner. Katrina Gorry comes across now. This is a long way from the action, but Tony Gustafsson has caught Mackenzie Arnold over. Everything is connected when the goalkeeper has the ball. She is the one that gets the whole machine moving forward. Hopefully, for this kind of moment at the other end. Katrina Gorry, assisted by Caitlin Ford, has opened the scoring 2 minutes ago. Now she stands over this corner. In it comes, good delivery as well. Cleared only just by Swaby, and the referee has immediately called a halt to proceedings for what looks like an injury to Denisha Blackwood. Was that the ball in the face?
There's a near post run there from Claire Tulkinghorn, as there often is. Another look first at this strike from Katrina Gorry. Spencer's able to get a fingertip to it, but just not enough. And the way that Gorry hits that ball, just on the inside, you can see the spin and the swerve as it moved away from Becky Spencer. And you can see what that one meant to Katrina Gorry.
Well, she's been watching the others get amongst the goals, and she wanted it on the party as well. Denisha Blackwood, after that break we had earlier for Polkinghorn and Catley, is now down receiving treatment as well. Well, she had that big break, didn't she, Katrina Gorry, after the pregnancy, the birth of little Harper. She wasn't rushed back in. She didn't travel to India for the Asian Cup just over a year ago. And there it is, ball to face. Very painful indeed. No protection.
Oh, that's right, that one's just caught Blackwood completely unawares. An opportunity for both Jamaica and the Matildas to regroup. As mentioned, the opening passage of this game was a little measured by the Matildas.
Let's see, Lorne Donaldson, the coach there, just having a word. I mentioned he's only been in charge for just over 6 months. And it's a similar situation to the one with the Spanish national team, actually. There was a threat of strike from the Jamaican women against the former coach, Vin Blaine. And the federation stood by Vin Blaine and said, the players don't choose who the coach is. And then the coach himself said, well, I can't coach this squad if they don't want me. So he left, and Lorne Donaldson came in to take over, and the players returned, even if Khadisha Shaw is not here for personal reasons on this trip. Whereas the Spanish Federation backed their man, Jorge Vilda, and he stayed. And the striking players, well, they're not back. Blackwood is back and into the action. 11 minutes left in regulation time in this first half, but I think we're going to be having a long additional time after those two lengthy pauses. After two sweltering matches in Gosford
and Combank, where drinks breaks were required. Well, we didn't need them today, but we've had them anyway, with those little head knocks. The Matildas, who will take on Ireland, Nigeria and Canada in their group. The first in Sydney, the second in Brisbane, and then Canada in the match that, on paper at least, will decide who finishes top of the section, to be played in Melbourne. Jamaica, they've been drawn with France. Brazil, who they were in the same group back in 2019 as well. And then the winner of Paraguay versus Panama is Van Zanten. Breaks down the right-hand side. McKenna in the middle. Van Zanten holds up play, looking for an option now. Trying to drive it across the face. Well blocked by Catley. Vine, Cooney Cross will get there with time and space as well. Sam Kerr comes deep looking for the ball. Cooney Cross will recycle via Steph Catley. Now Katrina Gorry. Hunt with Nevin. Now Polkinghorne. Vine just stepping off the shoulder and finding a couple of yards to turn. Kerr wide for Catley. The cross in, too high for Ford. And now Gorry again. Katrina Gorry, this time on the left foot. Not with the same success.
It's better from the Matildas though. Just connecting on the inside before finding that ball out wide to Steph Catley. Her delivery a little long. Perhaps just in between. Middle of the 6-yard box and a late run from Larissa Crummer.
We've seen a number of times Primus looking to get a glancing header onto those runners in behind, and it's working, at least the first part of it. She is very hard for Gorry and Cooney Cross to deny those glancing headers in the middle of the park. But for the moment, it's not causing Hunt or Polkinghorne any more trouble than that. Nevin does nicely, but is then closed down by Primus. Let's head back to Neve Owens as we can see the young Matildas there watching on. Great evening for them. And we'll get to you in a second, Neve, because that shot needed explanation. It looks great to see them there sitting just behind the Matildas bench. Free kick offside against Brown. Now, Neve, let's go down to you. How's Tony G enjoying this one?
Well, Ray Dower, the coach of the young Matildas, is here in the stand with her girls. She's fist pumping the air. Tony Gustafsson has not looked as happy himself. He's been marching up and down the edge of the box. He's had a word with Mackenzie Arnold. He's had a word with Claire Hunt, who he called over to the edge of the box when the ball was down the other end of the park, and had a stern word in her second starting game for the Tillies. So plenty for the Matildas boss to say, I reckon, at half-time.
It's Hunt that's just given the ball away there as Jamaica come again, and that was a strong challenge by Nevin. Crummer and Cooney Cross between the two of them, who've conceded the throw-in for Jodie Brown. Well, we're setting our standards pretty high these days, Grace, after what we've seen in the first two matches, and it hasn't been the same intensity so far, the same attacking power that we saw in the first two matches either, apart from Katrina Gorry, who is really up for the fight at the moment. How do you see this opening 40 minutes now?
Yeah, it almost feels like a slightly fatigued 45 minutes by the Matildas, the exception being Katrina Gorry, who is having an energetic first half.
That's a great ball. Looking for Jodie Brown again, who's constantly running in behind this left-hand side.
Yeah, I do think Gorry's setting the tone of intensity, but the rest of the Matildas just sitting back a little more defensively. And this attacking right-hand side for the Matildas. Courtney and Larissa Crummer still trying to settle in and find their combinations, and on a couple of occasions just giving up possession. It does feel like a little bit, as I've said, a somewhat measured first half for the Matildas compared to that of their first half against Spain, their second half against Czechia. Different kind of energy in those matches.
Let's also not forget that Hayley Rasso's not there, and she was something of a tone setter in those first two matches, as well as Crummer fighting back. Loses out to Blackwood, whose cross was goal bound. And that, by my count, is a third save this evening already by Mackenzie Arnold. As here goes Kyra Cooney-Cross. It's a fantastic run. This is what she's done so brilliantly. Finds Sam Kerr now. And she wanted it onto the right boot, and she's closed down. Just perhaps lacked a little bit of pace. The final ball from Cooney-Cross, closed down by Swaby.
Oh, it was an excellent driving run by Cooney-Cross, and she's so good with the ball at her feet. Perhaps just the weight of that final pass, the surface, slowing things down a little bit. Sam Kerr wanted that in her stride, looking to hit it first time, but you can see how quickly the Matildas can break when you've got someone like Cooney-Cross charging up the middle of the field.
That's how she set up Caitlin Ford and Sweden with one of those marauding runs from midfield forward. Broken play. You have to be able to transition in modern football, and it was exactly that from her own penalty box all the way up the other end. Now Steph Catley, left foot ball floated in, it falls forward, and it was Claire Hunt who got an assist on debut. Looking for her first goal there in green and gold.
Yet again, another delightful delivery from Steph Catley. Sam Kerr to get up to try and challenge, but Sampson was there really well, winning that aerial battle.
She's fantastic in the air as well, Sam Kerr. You don't score 62 international goals if you're not a complete striker. It's Cooney-Cross this time.
Every time Drew Spencer's on the ball, pressure from whether it be Katrina Gorry, Claire Hunt, just that open hand to the face, and those ones do hurt. Just looking to slow her down. They're so dangerous on the ball.
This Jamaica side, who are still building the women's game in their country. They are the out-and-out leaders in the Caribbean, and in that CONCACAF region they have a couple of powerhouses to contend with as well, to show them the way in the USA and Canada. They've got a recent win over Mexico. That's a good ball from Gorry for Crummer, who just sucked Chantel Swaby into the challenge there, and now towards the back post. Vine is there, Ford as well, and between them Alison Swaby and Drew Spence just managed to get the ball clear.
Again, grab the power!
Jamaica at the moment just not enough numbers forward, and that was good to see the Matildas back in numbers to put the brakes on any potential transition play.
That defensive transition, but for Larissa Crummer, the little toe was important, as was the early ball. She had close pressure. I love the intensity of those oncoming runs from both Caitlin Ford and Courtney Vine, just throwing themselves in to that delivery.
Really aggressive runs from deep, particularly from Courtney Vine. Here's Kerr. with Nevin. That's a heavy touch. She's not backward in throwing herself into a challenge either. Courtney Nevin, as Vian Sampson just found out. Now Polkinghorne. Not an easy one, but great running from Sam Kerr just behind Larissa Crummer. And now Mackenzie Arnold, who had that chat with Tony Gustafsson. Perhaps that was part of the instruction. A little bit of control. Just 3 minutes of additional time at the end of this first half.
Mackenzie Arnold taking back the tempo into her own hands, just moderating that for the Matildas in this last 3 minutes of stoppage time. I think that might be a bit of the discussion around halftime about how the Matildas can get this game back on their terms. Jamaica, to their credit, have had a very strong 45 minutes.
They've won 60% of the duels so far, and that's where you can see that physical, imposing 41 duels so far, 61% in favour of Jamaica. So if they're still in this contest, trailing by a 1-0 to a wonderful goal from Katrina Gorry, but that does go some way to explaining it, and maybe also why Tony Gustafsson has not been so impressed, because you can't afford to not match a physical confrontation in international football. Here's Spence. Sampson. All back for Spence, but Gorry sliding in again now. Early forward, she's still got lots to do. Now looking back outside for Katrina Gorry. Crummer's in the middle, forward as well. She's a long way out. She's just lost the initiative and the momentum. And there were enough black shirts back to win it back. And now Lorne Donaldson just says, "Go, Jodie, go," against Claire Polkinghorne. Jodie Brown almost lost the ball for a moment. Now back with Spence. No look pass. Fighting for everything, throwing themselves into every challenge. A little bit of space for McKenna to run into just before half-time, and it's a great save by Mackenzie Arnold, best of the night so far for the Australian shot stopper.
Well, huge from Mackenzie Arnold. Such an important save, such an important time of this half. It was a wonderful run from McKenna. On that occasion, Claire Hunt perhaps showed a bit too much of that angle and asked a lot of Arnold, who stood up big. Yet another occasion for the Matildas in this tournament.
Well, it was a cheap turnover in the middle of the park. The back four were caught a little bit too flat. And that is a big let-off as the 3 minutes of stoppage time click over. We're finally going to get Denisha Blackwood across to take the corner of what will be, no doubt, the final action of this first half. The arm signal. Will it be a set piece to get Jamaica back on level terms? Well, that's a confidence building grab. Not that Mackenzie Arnold needs any more confidence building. She's produced 4 saves in the first half to keep the Matildas in front at the break. Another wonderful goal to add to the catalogue for Katrina Gorry just before the half hour. The classic long-distance strike with the outside of the right boot is the difference at half-time. Australia 1, Jamaica 0 in Newcastle. Well, let's head off to a quick break, and then Tara Rushton will be back with Bubs Barbieri and Andy Harper to analyse all that first half action. Yesterday, when deciding who would replace the injured Hayley Russo, as Jamaica get this second half underway, great skill we saw in the opening match of this tournament last Thursday against Czechia. A difficult opening 45 minutes for the Matildas that was followed by a wonderful free-scoring second 45. Can we hold on for something similar, perhaps, this evening?
Look, I think we can, and I think that will be exactly what Tony Gustafsson asked for from this group. And we've seen a shuffle of the back line. So Courtney Nevin, she's moved across to her favoured left full-back position. It's Charlie Grant who's on the right. Steph Catley has tucked in alongside Claire Hunt, and it's Claire Polkinghorne who has gone to the bench. So early in this second half, that will ask a few questions of a rearranged Matildas defence and how they can adjust.
So Claire Polkinghorne in match number 154 with the Matildas is clearly just feeling that head knock that she suffered when she collided with Steph Catley in the first half. She made it to the break before making way, so that explains that little reshuffle. Catley, who played the last international break in the centre of defence with Nevin at left back. And almost certainly Courtney Nevin will look more comfortable on this left side. And a chance to get forward and combine with Courtney Vine, which is exactly what Tony Gustafsson is telling her after that first touch.
Really pleasing as well to see Alex Chidiak with a full half at her disposal to make of what she will. A like-for-like swap with Larissa Crummer in that right wing position.
And I wonder if that one wasn't perhaps set up before the match, as here's Primus advancing on goal and getting the first shot away for Jamaica in this second half.
Almost looked like a moment of indecision from Primus. She had a couple of opportunities to unleash this shot, hesitated on it and took the second time of asking. Didn't quite get the purchase behind that strike as she would have liked, but again, in the way they did in the first half, Jamaica have started on the front foot.
A lot of people have been calling for Alex Chidiak to get some minutes to show what she can do. She's just completed her spell with Melbourne Victory. We'll be heading off to Racing Louisville in the American Women's First Division, the NWSL. Hunt with Grant. Little touch for Chidiak. A real live wire, who plays more centrally generally with her club football. Was given an opportunity in green and gold on that right flank today, as Courtney Vine just couldn't quite keep it in play. Tony Gustafsson applauding that long ball down the flank towards Vine, who's clearly a player full of confidence after that goal against Spain. Van Zanten back with Swaby. Spencer. Intercepted almost by Vine. Tiffany Cameron ended up getting the touch, and Vine back to Spencer. Little miscommunication. It's cleared long towards McKenna, who does well against Catley. Sampson now for Brown. This is nice play again by Jamaica. Drew Spence. She looks to see where the pace is coming from. Uses Van Zanten as a runner. Looks up and crosses. Grant's head up. And now Blackwood letting fly from distance with the left foot.
Blackwood has proved to be really threatening all evening for Jamaica. And again, finding herself on the end of that ball. Fell nicely just outside the 18-yard box. Hasn't quite been able to challenge Mackenzie Arnold, who we did see come out particularly early after that half-time break to get her hands back on the ball and run through some warm-ups with the goalkeeping coach.
Hunt's ball over the top is picked off by Alison Swaby. Kerr running behind. Nice touch by Jodie Brown. Back with Blackwood. Claire Hunt covering. Not sure she takes over seniority of the central defenders with Steph Catley alongside her in just her third international appearance. Catley, as we heard in the pre-game show, arguably the best left back in world football at the moment. Earning cap number 109 for the Matildas as Cooney Cross finds Caitlin Ford. Again, Blackwood with the challenge, but Ford responded very well, closing down space, and has won the throw for the Matildas.
It's tireless from Caitlin Ford. It's the kind of energy she continues to bring.
Gorry with Nevin. For Vine. Just couldn't control it. Had good pace on it from Courtney Nevin. Caitlin Ford looking to just fire up the side by example. A little bit more urgency in the defending. A number of the statistics were not in the Matildas' favour in the first half, including aerial duels. Nearly 85% of them won by Jamaica, who are the taller side, but also very much up for the physical battle in that opening 45 minutes. Chantel Swaby. There you see all the duels on your screen there. 60-40 basic count overall. That was a good challenge by Courtney Vine.
Great defensive work there by Courtney Vine. And the fact that she can add such defensive duties to her CV, given what she offers going forward. It's very impressive. Tony Gustafsson sideline though, looking a little restless.
His assistant coaches there, and Andriata and Jens Fjellström, his compatriot. Nevin long into Kerr, who controls well for Ford. Gets the ball out wide to Charlie Grant. Willingness to get forward in the first two matches was a feature. The second game against Spain, more final third entries than any other player on the field. Great paddle between Van Zanten and Nevin. Courtney Nevin has done well, but just couldn't find Courtney Vine. Catley will have the legs on McKenna.
I think as well, given her performances in the first two games, Hayley Raso is perhaps feeling a little bit missed in this fixture against Jamaica. Certainly what she offered going forward, her energy, her duels, her combats. It feels as though that component of the Matildas game so far this evening is not quite there.
Gorry, Kerr, and now Grant. Chidiak just ahead of her. Back with Katrina Gorry again. Chidiak coming inside, making space down the channel for Grant. Turns inside Brown, now back for Chidiak. Cuts across the front of the area towards Nevin. Adding numbers to the attack. Oh, but McKenna has got the better of Catley. Now Hunt coming across in cover, one-on-one. McKenna against Hunt. She's trying to force her the wrong way, but that's very well defended by Claire Hunt.
Great composure shown there from Claire Hunt, a player who not even 7 days ago was yet to appear for her national team, and after these 3 performances, you'd have to say, genuinely putting her hand up for the World Cup in just a few months' time.
It's been a while since we've seen Alana Kennedy, who had a serious shoulder injury. Got back to make her second appearance for Manchester City this season in the league, only to hobble out of that, and is now missing again, or even though she is here, has travelled. We can just see Claire Polkinghorne making her way out to the bench as well. Grant into Gorry. This is nicely done. Here's Chidiak, who turns one way, then the other, and Chidiak scores. Well, she loves getting in those central positions. It's been a long time between drinks for Alex Chidiak, but a second international goal has arrived in Newcastle, and the Matildas lead Jamaica 2-0.
Well, that is dazzling from Alex Chidiak. We've come to expect nothing less from a player of her quality. She had work to do on this, but given minutes, that's the kind of quality that Alex Chidiak can produce. And what a finish that is on her left foot. And what an introduction to the game that is for Alex Chidiak.
Her only other goal came against Thailand back in 2018. She did that brilliantly, taking it away from 2 and blasting it into the roof of the net.
Well, to have the awareness of the oncoming players, 2 of them sliding in, to just allow that ball to run across her body, power that into the back of the net. A really well-deserved goal by a much-loved player.
She's just won it back again. A little 1-2 with Sam Kerr. Grant under pressure, but keeps her cool as well. Hunt all the way back to Mackenzie Arnold. And we have seen that lift in intensity in this second half. Catley with Nevin. Vine with Ford. Sam Kerr wanted it into feet. Now Courtney Vine. Trying to chink her way between defenders, and that time Gorry's pass can't find Chidiak, but Kerr has won it straight back. Here is Vine again. Chidiak scooping it up over the top for Gorry. The cross back in towards Kerr. Oh, they're starting to turn on the style all of a sudden.
Oh, well, the niceties between Courtney Vine and Alex Chidiak. Neither wanted to take a shot. Just tick-a-tack football at the top of the 18-yard box there. Creativity too.
Kerr with Nevin. Well, that's a good ball for Caitlin Ford. He was looking for the option. He's looking for Sam Kerr, basically. And now Gorry hits one again from distance, this time just too high.
You can feel the energy lift in the Matildas.
As we see that goal one more time.
That moment there, just the drop of the shoulder from Alex Chidiak. She saw her way to oncoming Jamaican defenders. A well-deserved applause from the teammates on the sideline after what was a really well-taken finish.
Including Larissa Crummer, who was there leading the cheer squad. So we have a change in the Jamaica ranks, the first for them. Shayna Matthews coming in. Also Soleil Washington, so a double change coming on for Van Zanten. Blackwood's throw. Is there a way back into this contest for Jamaica? don't have fond memories, of course, of playing against Australia. That only previous meeting at the World Cup, Sam Kerr scored 4 goals. As Australia won 4-1. Did include Jamaica's first ever World Cup goal. Catley into the feet of Sam Kerr, who turns away from Primus and can't release Vine, but only just. Well defended. Cameron, the right back. It's going to be an attacking throw for the Matildas. An hour gone. Nevin gets it back from Vine, who sends it straight back. Ball bouncing around, but overlapping runs now. Nevin's done well. Thought she'd won the corner. Japanese referee Asaka Koizumi saw that one. Let's head down again to Niamh Owens. How's the crowd responded to that second goal, Niamh?
They're starting to find their voice, Robbie. Fair juice to this Newcastle crowd coming out after so much rain in the Hunter Valley today. They were a bit subdued, as were the Matildas in the first half, but with that injection of energy from Alex Chidiak, from Charlie Grant, the crowd starting to find their voice as well. It is a quick turnaround for the players, Robbie. Those who play overseas, those who play in Europe, for the Matildas, off to the airport. 3 a.m. tomorrow morning on 6 a.m. flights back to Europe.
There's no rest for the wicked, Niamh. Football never stops. As Spencer just manages to dribble Caitlin forward. We saw up the other end while Niamh was speaking, Mackenzie Arnold playing a game of chicken with Matthews. Now Courtney Vine just skewing the shot off the top of the laces and behind.
Well, that opened up kindly for Courtney Vine. She managed somehow just to scoop her foot under that strike a little bit, leaning back ever so slightly. Technically let herself down on that occasion. Courtney Vine continues to look threatening, continues to look dangerous.
She's one who has lifted that intensity in the second half as well, winning back the ball herself for that effort. That's a real battle there between Washington and Nevin. Alison Swaby back for Spencer, who looks long. Courtney Nevin does well again. Sam Kerr, the little nod down. Looking for Courtney Vine, it was well defended. Now Cooney Cross with Chidiak. With Grant just given away. A chance for Jamaica to try and get back into this contest. We know that 2-0 is a dangerous lead. Over the top. The flag is up for offside against Chena Matthews.
Swaby too at the other end. Doing, I have to say, a really good job on Caitlin Ford. Tight, close man marking. Not allowing Ford much time or space on the ball. To use a good physical battle between the two.
There will be physical battles in the World Cup. The first two matches are against sides ranked below Australia in the world rankings, and generally when you don't have the technique or the tactics, you rely on physical to make up and level the playing field a little bit. So we can expect Ireland and Nigeria to try and really ruffle a few Matilda feathers. Here's Chidiak again. Oh, looking for Caitlin Ford, who gives a thumbs up, but the run was just stopped at the moment Chidiak released. It's been in goal-scoring form for Melbourne Victory this season. They're watching little replays down there of positioning. That's a good ball for Washington down the right-hand side, but Catley anticipating the danger. Vine for Gorry, getting away from Primus.
Well defended there from Catley to come across and do a bit of clean-up work, as she often does. And Katrina Gorry continues to battle hard in the middle of the field. How many times has she gone into a challenge and come out with the ball?
Well, at half-time, she'd been involved in 17 duels, more than any other player in the match, and more than twice as many as the next Matilda. Spencer's pass comes unstuck, can't find Cameron. Nevin, who's looked a different player on this left-hand side. Ford with Grant. Outside with Kerr. Cooney cross. Matildas patient when they need to be in this second half, but also with a lot more of a cutting edge into the final third. Down the line for Vine.
A little wasteful there from Nevin. Just talking, Robbie, about better performance from the Matildas, and certainly it's improved. The junior Matildas, really great to see them out in numbers in their ponchos. Ray Dower's under 17 Australian side, and the future of the game, no doubt, out here supporting their heroes.
We talk about the legacy that this World Cup can leave in Australia. Well, that team, those young girls, are going to see it firsthand. They're going to live it firsthand, and that will be memories for a lifetime, and hopefully they won't be the only ones. And if you're playing football with your club, as here comes Caitlin Ford again, who hits it. Wonderful! What a strike from Caitlin Ford! A little 1-2 on the edge of the box. She lets fly, easy as you like. 3-0.
Caitlin Ford, that is outrageous. What a finish. It's just that one-touch football. And her proactive movement off the ball, but to hit that first time, nudge the inside post and find its way into the back of the net. That is a delightful finish from Caitlin Ford.
6 goals in 8 matches now for Caitlin Ford. In fact, that's 7 in the last 8 for Caitlin Ford, and it's hard to say that that's the pick of the bunch, because they're just all absolute screamers from distance.
We've spoken about how important Caitlin Ford is to this side, particularly in the games against Thailand, Sweden, Denmark, some of their best performances. Caitlin Ford was so pivotal in those games, and again tonight. I mentioned she'd been relatively well managed by Alison Swaby at the back, but it's those moments, the proactive movement off the ball.
As Jodie Brown needs to be challenged now. Washington takes over. The Matildas have to defend now. You don't want to concede a goal, having just scored at the other end. Matthews gets it onto the right boot. Hits it powerfully, but wide of the mark.
Well, she's been lively since she came on, Shayna Matthews. But it is those moments after you go up a goal, as we have another look at this Caitlin Ford goal, the little give and go from Sam Kerr. Just the way in which Caitlin Ford managed to hook her right foot around that strike. There's nothing that Becky Spencer could have done to get a hand to that one.
Just all in the timing. Looks like she hardly hit it with any force whatsoever, just caressed it from 25 yards in off the post.
Well, when Caitlin Ford plays like that, she well and truly makes football look effortless.
And she is shouldering much of the goal-scoring burden at the moment. A goal against South Africa, 2 against Denmark, 2 against Sweden. Then another last time out against Spain before tonight, as we see. The third change. Drew Spence will make way 70 minutes in for Trudy Carter, who laid on the assist for Jodie Brown against Czechia, another who came off the bench in that World Cup match between these two sides back in Grenoble. We also saw Emily Van Egmond getting a chat off the side by assistant coach Jens Fjellström. Also see Tamiki Yallop doing a little bit of individual warming up off to the side as well. There is movement down on the bench. Chidiak, lovely control, the little 1-2 with Kerr. Vine was looking to run inside. Cameron at left back, now Nevin gets there. That's a lovely first touch as well. Ford. And Tiffany Cameron sees the ball out of play, but this is more like it from the Matildas now.
This is much more free-flowing football. Good 1-2 touches, really starting to open up through Jamaican defence, if not for the speed of Tiffany Cameron there.
Change for the Matildas, leading by 3-0. Emily Van Egmond, and you can hear the cheers for the local girl in Newcastle. She replaces Kyra Cooney-Cross.
Substitution for your fullback Matildas, number 23, Kyra Cooney-Cross, replaced by number 10, Emily Van Egmond.
And here she is, the first touch of the football for the Matildas, number 10. It's come off the bench in each match in this international break. Cap number 127. Emily Van Egmond, as that's a good ball in from Courtney Vine, looking towards Kerr. Free kick goes Gorry's way because Jodie Brown wasn't contesting the ball in the air.
And Jodie Brown just upending Katrina Gorry. Give an opportunity for the Matildas to set up a free kick, get some good numbers into the box. Just Charlie Grant and Courtney Nevin sitting back to take care of a couple of Jamaican strikers.
Catley steps over. Gorry, near post. Jodie Brown's little touch finds Washington. 2-on-2 here. She's got Matthews in support. Great turn of pace from Washington, who's still going. Grant brilliantly across in cover. Well, that was a real foot race, and Charlie Grant thinks she should even have a goal kick.
Well, that's tremendous by Grant. She had a lot of work to do there, and you can see the acceleration, the first 1 or 2 steps there from Washington. That was an excellent tackle, really well timed.
We just saw those junior Matildas. Don't forget, the new season is starting in Australia, coming off. If you haven't got your team already, if you want to be inspired by this Matildas side or the World Cup, sign up to play football, the #1 participant sport in the country. There's Washington, finds space, it's bouncing around. Will it fall kindly for Jamaica? It doesn't. And the Matildas can get it clear from Catley.
Nervy moment there for the Matildas. With a ricochet, bit of a scramble in the goal mouth.
Van Egmond looking to get involved immediately. She's helped win that back along with Gorry. Now Grant invited forward down that right-hand side. Van Egmond. Back for Grant. She had a look in the middle. There was nothing on. Here she's again. Looking for the big switch of play. It's a good ball, and Vine. She's done brilliantly to bring that under control. Now Sam Kerr. The layback for Gorry. At some point she's going to get a shot for herself here, Sam Kerr, and it may come now. The shot stings the palms of Becky Spencer.
It was a great first touch. Cross from Claire Hunt. Kerr did superbly well to bring that down. The speed at which this ball was delivered. And an inch-perfect run too. Strikers right into the grateful hands of Becky Spencer.
She's worked very hard for her team. Illustrated with that assist for Caitlin Ford, but all evening she's been running wide, knocking the ball back, coming deep. All the way back to Mackenzie Arnold. It's going to stay in play, and it's going to find Chidiak. Lovely first touch to take her away again from 2. She was looking for that difficult ball towards Vine. She had Sam Kerr coming short.
You're right, Robbie. It's a role that Sam Kerr has played. Slightly different capacity. Dropping deep, picking up short passes, connecting with her teammates. Less reliance on her as an out-and-out striker, but a really important role that she's playing. A lot of hard work and hard graft at the top of the attacking outlet for the Matildas.
Mackenzie Arnold all the way back. Catley looks long towards Vine, under pressure from Cameron, and given away rather cheaply on that occasion. Van Egmond with Grant. Still 4 Matildas warming up, and about the same number for Jamaica. Well, we've got just over 9,000 in attendance here, and one of them is Network 10 and Paramount Plus's very own Daniel with Damien Zane, the Jets junior coach. Any opportunity for get down and watch the footy. Just over 10 minutes left for the Matildas, who will lift the Cup of Nations 2023 to go with the inaugural running of this tournament in 2019, where they emerged victorious as well. It will go on the list of honours along with the She Believes Cup and pride of place, of course, the 2010 Asian Cup, the big one that the Matildas have been chasing ever since. Quarter-final exit last January against Korea Republic. But they'll be getting another chance in the next couple of years to confirm the Asian continent. As here goes Charlie Grant again. She's got Caitlin Ford outside her to the right, and again just not quite on the same wavelength. Hasn't clicked the whole time tonight. There have been changes to the lineup, mind you. Again, we stress the fact that as a dress rehearsal for the World Cup, the intensity will be that little bit harder to beat as well, and the Matildas will have to lift. As here's Kerr, the cutback, towards Vine. Alison Swaby has to be careful. It might yet fall. Ford denied. Brilliant stop. Well, the Matildas want something more from the referee. No penalty. Caitlin Ford saying, have a look at this on the replay.
Well, it was a wonderful save.
There's the hand.
There is the hand, undoubtedly. A little hand of apology too from Alison Swaby. I think she gave herself up. She tried to get out of the way, but just the momentum of her body falling to ground. And also have to credit the save from Becky Spencer. That looked sure as anything from Caitlin Ford to be another goal for the evening.
With the corner, and there is a scrum of players inside the 6-yard box, which the referee will have to keep a close eye upon. Will Catley be looking to deliver it in there? She goes right into that area, the ball bouncing around again. It's Matthews who manages to get it clear before the referee has spotted a foul by Claire Hunt. Triple substitution now, coming in the 83rd minute for Jamaica. Tiffany Cameron's coming off. Peyton McNamara is coming in to the middle of the park. Tierney Wiltshire, who's played fullback in the first 2 matches. She comes in, and finally the number 6, Havana Salon, the woman who scored the first and only Jamaican World Cup goal against the Matildas back in 2019. So this cap will bring back plenty of good memories for her as well. The way they celebrated that goal. It was a fantastic moment. Baby steps at the start for a young footballing nation. That's a good pass for Matthews, but the flag's up for offside. The honours of the Matildas. 3 quarter-finals appearances in the World Cup up until France, where it was only the last 16. And there is real hope, which is growing with every game at the moment, that this could be the year for the Matildas. I asked Tony Gustafsson about it yesterday, the golden generation. And he said he did not like the term, not one little bit. But this is a great generation, yes, of footballers, but don't call them the golden generation, because then what do you call the next one that comes through? It could do even better. But he said Having said he doesn't like the term, what he does like is winning trophies. He wants them to start tonight. It looks like that will be done, barring an absolutely cataclysmic breakdown from the Matildas. They will win this.
It would feel like a pretty steep hill to climb at this point in time for Jamaica to make a comeback. Steph Catley just goes to ground after that last challenge and looks to be a little sore from the contact.
And this is also to be taken into account with an eye on the World Cup as well, because 3 matches in 8 days is tough on the bodies. We saw it with Grant rested. Now Mary Fowler, who didn't feature in the last game, and there was a yellow card for that challenge by Chaina Matthews, who collected Catley late. Drew Spence picked up a yellow card in the first half as well. She was involved in that challenge with Gorry. So Mary Fowler into the game, and also coming in is Claire Wheeler, who will come into that holding role in midfield vacated by Katrina Gorry. And another local girl, which gets a big round of applause for her 12th cap, the Everton player. Caitlin Ford, the other player who came off, replaced by Mary Fowler.
Well, between both Katrina Gorry and Caitlin Ford, quite a mountain of work they got through tonight. Pleasing to see Wheeler with an opportunity.
Now Brown, who accelerates brilliantly. And another fine save from Mackenzie Arnold. She's had precious little to do in this second half. And there, with just 3 minutes left to play, great concentration, and that's a fine save to preserve the clean sheet.
That one was definitely goal-bound, and Mackenzie Arnold, shot-stopping ability. She does well to get across and push that one out. Claire Wheeler called into action early in her minutes on to put pressure on Jodie Brown, who's been immense this evening for Jamaica. Mackenzie Arnold is up to task yet again.
Is there to be some joy late on? Consolation, albeit for Jamaica. Ball to the back post. Chantal Swaby's header down. Wiltshire. McNamara. Salon. Salon against Vine. Courtney Vine, who switched flanks with Alex Chidiak. Well played, Charlie Grant. But here goes Jodie Brown again. A real live wire in this tournament and in this match. Salon keeps it alive with McNamara. Now Wiltshire taking on Chidiak down the right hand side. She gets the cross in. And now Washington accelerates. She's also looked handy since coming on.
Both Wiltshire and Washington look so dynamic since coming on in the second half. Good speed, good acceleration. Washington almost just holding onto the ball for a little bit too long there. Had she unleashed that shot a moment earlier.
Just 17 years of age. Soleil Washington. Now, and this is a great moment for the Matildas as well, because Tamika Yallop, who's been missing for so long, makes her return to action. Sam Kerr gives Steph Catley the captain's armband and receives a great round of applause as she makes way. And Tamika Yallop returns to the fray as a Matilda after overcoming that injury and ankle surgery. Wheeler under pressure with Catley. And again, Matthews driving in. 4 minutes of stoppage time announced here at McDonald Jones Stadium. Wiltshire looks long towards Matthews again. Matthews is operating across the front of the attack, along with Brown and Washington. Just behind them now, Trudy Carter, the number 18. They are throwing everything at the Matildas now, who are just starting to take their foot off the gas. They want to finish with a goal to show for their trip here to Newcastle. Nevin is closed down. Mary Fowler hasn't seen too much of the ball since coming on a couple of moments ago. Now Yallop, such a versatile player for the Matildas as well, Tamika Yallop. But Tony Gustafsson loves these box-to-box runs that she can provide. As Grant was looking for Vine. Chidiak for Grant again. Swaby across in cover, but Grant's not giving it up. Blackwood gets it clear.
It's been a big 45 minutes for Charlie Grant. He's worked very hard in that time, and Tamika Yallop, who has just entered the fray, really pleasing to see her back in the green and gold, recovering from that surgery on her foot. Tony Gustafsson said she might have 10 or 15 minutes in her legs, but perhaps just 3 or 4 tonight with stoppage.
Another 3 goals this evening as it stands. That's 23 goals scored in the Matildas' last 7 matches. They have found their scoring boots. Sam Kerr, those 23. Am I right in thinking she's only scored 3 or 4 of them? That is an incredible statistic. Claire Polkinghorne's got 3 herself. 3 goals for Sam Kerr in the last 23 scored by the Matildas in 7 games. Caitlin Ford has been the big contributor. Courtney Vine as well, Polkinghorne, Rasso, Fowler, Katrina Gorry again this evening. And that is another big positive to take out of this current run of the Matildas, who moved to within 1 victory of equaling their all-time record of 8 consecutive wins set back in 2017-18. This will be 7 in a row now.
And add to that tally of goal scorers for tonight, Robbie, in Alex Chidiak.
That's right, Chidiak. This evening, off the bench and onto the score sheet for her 2nd international goal. After Katrina Gorry had lit up